been devastated. So he's at home on the wall.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, you see, I slung Brid up the drive a couple of weeks ago, so I'm in a doghouse. Sorry.
Yeah.
This one, I painted her out, and I was taking her out for an outing, and they're big paintings like this, and I had it the wrong way down to two colours. I've mixed my gold and my burnt sienna, and then I'm just thinking about where I put my darks in. So
that's where I have a struggle. Where do you know where to put the dark bits and the light bits?
Right, so you've got to work. Hair's made up of all strands, and in fact your whole body's made up of spheres and of cylinders, yes?
Right.
So you've got to take that, and every edge of every cylinder you're curving around back into shadow, yes?
Yes, you are, yes.
Okay. And so with the hair, you've got to imagine that you're dealing with hundreds of different cylinders.
Right.
And although they're curved, there's still one over the top of the other, like this. And where you've got one on top of another, you've got the shadow underneath.
Yes.
And so where one is next to another, you've got to then think about one is on top of another, so that's the light one and that's the dark underneath. And then what I'll do with that now is once I've done my layering like this, I'll go into the burnt umber, darker shades, darker tone, and then I'll do exactly the same thing in here, but not as thick. So you've got yet another layer of shading, and then blend it away. And where I've done that in here, eventually, I'll even get down to Payne's Grey. And I'll make it even, and so you're layering the whole thing. So this would be dark in up under here. And then I blend that away. It's one hard edge, one sharp edge all the time. And when I've got the whole hair to that stage, and this kind of stage, then I get a rigger brush, which I haven't got out. So I take my rigger brush, and then with all the same colours, so starting off with the light colours, come into the lighter areas, take it out of the dark from where it's dark, and then bring through all the lines on the hair, keeping the movement going, as you do. And then go into the darker colour, which should be the burnt umber again, and you overlay that. And again, come out of the dark, because where you put the brush, it's not going to show. Alright, so with that brush, wet it, put it into the soap.
So what is that, normal soap?
It's just a normal bar of soap from a hotel.
Okay,
alright?
yes.
The hotel weekend away is very important.
Yes, it is.
And if you're unlucky enough to get a hotel with a bar with the soap that does that, doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
So, all of the fibres are coated in soap. So now I can dip it into the masking fluid and I can just paint. And because it's blue, you can see it.
Wow, yes.
And when that dries, I will be able to paint right up to it and over it, and it won't take the paint, all right?
Fantastic.
Now the important thing about that, there's my brush, and if I put it in water, it's all gone.
Oh my gosh. No,
and that's soap.
Incredible.
Just soap.
That's amazing.
All right.
I've had to literally.
I know. With a pin on the back of those bottles, it used to say, allow it to dry, and then when it's dry, pick it out with a pin. And what happens to the brush? Dustbin.
Yes.
Dustbin.
Yes.
Right. That doesn't work. Now, if you imagine that you use one of those rigger brushes with that, and then I've done it with some of their hair. Let me show you.
Wow, because of the little lines. You think,
Wait for it.
wow, how do you do that?
If you're doing a dark background,
right.
And along the theme of you, we've got a new set of tunes for you. It's got a bit of a different sound to it. These, most of the tunes we play.
You see, now how did you do that background? How do you get those colours to run?
aha. This is the masking fluid.
Oh,
look, and I've used the rigger brush for all this.
Yes, that's what I need.
And for this.
That's what drives me insane. That's why I end up giving up in the end. Because I need less.
You don't need to give up. So that is the rigger brush with the masking fluid, and then the background is so easy. All you've got to do with this, and the same effect with that one, and have you seen my girl round the back?
Not yet. Ah, yes.
Right? Yes. Wet that paper till it's absolutely streaming.
Right. Yes.
Wet,
Yes.
wet, wet. And so you're going to take 2, 3 coats of water and use a huge brush, use a hake brush, you know, the big hake brushes.
Big ones, yes. How big is that? Oh God, that's big.
That's goat. Big. That's goat hair.
That's huge.
Very soft.
Whoa.
And so if you soak the whole of the paper with clean water, and by the time you get down to the bottom, by the time you get down to the bottom,
in a minute, my sweetheart. It's happening in art demonstration. Yes.
You are beautiful. You
Isn't it? It's like a ballerina, isn't it?